Hello, welcome back to the A Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Amir Hamid. Joining me today will be Brant DeBow
What's up?
and Maurice Cesario.
Hey, how are ya?
All right, boys. Super Bowl's in the books. We got. I already miss football. Like it's brutal not having it. But we still got to talk about the game, recap it, stuff in the NHL. The Leafs are I don't know, frustrating. I think that would be the operative word.
Mhm.
And then the Knicks are being the Knicks. But first let's start with the Super Bowl and let's recap that. What's you guys' thoughts on so obviously the Kansas City Chiefs won the game. What was the score, Moro? You got it?
Final was 31 to 20.
Yeah.
Okay. So
They didn't hit the over.
they did not.
The over was 54, so
Yeah. Which, like, the Damian Williams touchdown, it was iffy on whether, like, it made it more interesting, at least.
yeah.
Because then if the 49ers scored a garbage time touchdown,
Yeah.
then it could have been close.
But they couldn't manage to do that, so.
True.
Yeah.
What's you guys' thoughts on the game? Did the 49ers blow it or did the Chiefs win it?
I think the Chiefs won it, man. Like, the 49ers played a good
I'm
game.
with you.
They're just Pat Mahomes is really good, and he showed it. It's kind of the biggest story of the night, and I think that's all there is to it for me, anyways. I don't know.
For me, I see it as the 49ers defense kind of came through because throughout the playoffs, Pat Mahomes played well, and this was easily like his worst game.
Mhm.
Like he still got close to his 300 yards, but you picked him off twice. He's never got picked off before in the playoffs. I know it's only 3 starts prior to this, but I mean, still, like towards the end of the game, though, I could make the case that the 49ers lost the game because, like, you could also credit to the defense of the Chiefs that they just got stop after stop and they were stagnant. They had the run game going in the first half, and it was a no-show in the second half.
Yeah.
And when they had the opportunity to run, they kind of chose not to. I know that it was game script dependent, right? Because when they were trailing then by 10 points and they needed to throw the ball, they go a 4th and out after converting 2 nice plays, right? Like they had the pass to Kendrick Bourne and they had the run with Mostert on like the second last drive where they end up going 4 and out. And then that leads to the touchdown by Damian Williams, which ends up leading to the pick that costs them the game, right? Like it was just back-to-back drives where when they needed the score, they didn't get it.
Couldn't. Yeah.
All right. So my opinion's basically that the Chiefs went out there and won it. I don't think that Patrick Mahomes had this awful game that everyone's saying he did because
He just wasn't Mahomes.
It wasn't the 300 yards, 4 touchdown Mahomes that we're accustomed to.
Yeah.
But you saw it when they took the lead, when they were coming back.
Exactly.
When they needed him, he showed up.
Yeah.
That was kinda...
But also, like, I don't see how you can blow a 10-point lead when, like, a touchdown makes it a 3-point game.
Yeah.
And also, like, the 2 Mahomes interceptions, one of them was tipped, like, off his receiver's hands. Was it not?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a throw behind I think it was Tyreek Hill, and then it pops up into Warner's hands.
Yeah.
No. That's the Warner one's the first one where he just threw it right.
I forget who got
him.
the second one then.
And then it was the second one that I want to say that it was where it went off of the receiver's hands and then into.
Yeah. I forget which guy got it, but that was the one where Tyreek Hill tipped it and it fell right into the defender's hands.
Yeah. So and that's where I don't really agree with the Damian Williams for Super Bowl MVP.
Well, it's a question people are.
Exactly. Like a lot of people are saying, should he be the Super Bowl MVP? And I'm like, all he had to do, he made 2 plays. One where it was a garbage time touchdown, and the other one was is he really in? Like Mahomes still made the throw
Correct.
over to him, where he floated it to him, and then the other one, all you needed to do was get the first down. It was if we're talking like football plays, it's a worse play that he scored the touchdown.
Yeah.
Like just logically, like.
Because now they have a chance.
You get the first down and you just knee, and the game is over.
Yeah.
But I mean, you go and score the touchdown. Like I don't think that circumstance of a touchdown deserves
MVP.
an MVP at
Yeah.
all. Like it didn't have an effect on the game other
Correct.
than getting the first down.
Mhm.
That's where like in a situation where it was Malcolm Butler intercepting Russell Wilson, like that's an
On the goal
MVP
line. Yeah.
play.
That's a
Like
game-winning play.
exactly. Well,
Yeah.
that was, but it wasn't.
It was.
I mean, the
Like,
Mahomes throw to Tyreek Hill where he just threw a
He
bomb,
busted
and it was
open the
finally the
coverage.
first time
Yeah.
that he like actually let loose.
Mhm.
What was it, 3rd and 15 or something?
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. So
It was a something in long.
yeah, and he still underthrew Tyreek Hill.
I know. That's what was crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that's the reason I asked. Like, because me personally, I'm all for giving the Super Bowl MVP to Pat Mahomes. Like
Mhm.
in the fourth quarter, when you need scores, he delivered. Right? I know that one of
Yeah.
them was garbage time, but I mean, yeah, like 2 picks, 2 touchdowns. He ran one in. I mean, Super Bowl MVP for me.
No, I agree totally. Like
Alternate universe.
Mhm.
Say San Fran holds up that lead and
Yep.
they end up winning the game. Who's San Fran's Super Bowl MVP?
it's tough because I thought Jimmy G was having a really good game
Yeah.
Mhm.
until the fourth quarter, basically.
Yeah. Even the fourth quarter, like he wasn't bad. He just couldn't find.
They
anyone.
couldn't
It was
sustain
like-
drives, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
They went away from the run game, which like their run game was just it was 7 yards a pop each play,
Exactly.
and you just could not stop them.
Mm.
And it was the right game plan for 90% of the game, but then when you finally get stuffed and give the ball back to Kansas City, that's where it really went wrong.
I think at the time that they were winning, I was picking Deebo Samuel
Mhm.
just because he went off, man. Like he had at the
Yeah.
He
in
was
the
like
such a
half,
three
gadget
end
player.
around.
He was such a gadget player.
he had
Yeah.
like 53 rushing yards. I think he had 30 something. What do you call it? Receiving yards by the
Receiving
end of the
yards, yeah.
game. Like he just did it all for the 3 quarters, and then you
Mhm.
never really saw anything after that.
And one big thing that like I was shocked at, the tight ends didn't do anything really.
No.
Like Kelsey was invisible until
Mhm.
late, and he
Mhm.
only
Yeah.
had like what 2 catches, 3 catches.
I think Kittle
And
had one.
Kittle had the one pass interference play, which
Yeah.
like it's a tough call.
Yeah. Is that
It's the
biggest...
right call. It's the right call,
Just
but
because he
it's
was
not in
fully
line with what
extended.
they. It's just
They
they don't.
did in
They're
New
not
Orleans.
consistent. They're not consistent with what they do. Like it's to me, it's a blatant pass interference on the offense. It's just they don't see it that way every single time it happens. Is at least what I've seen.
Yeah.
Right.
Is Kittle versus Kelsey the biggest frat boy matchup of all time? Like you see the two of them.
I
it's
don't
like,
know.
dude,
Gronk, it's still
it's
throw in there.
close. Yeah.
I
But
mean,
like,
Gronk would still
both-
trump them both.
Yeah. But like as of right now, I think it's the biggest frat boy matchup you could have. They both just came out
Yeah.
of Delta Chi and they're
Yeah.
they're playing for their respective teams. Just
Yeah.
both of them. You look like their look, their attitude. I'm like, dude. Fun
Let's
guys.
talk about the narrative that Kyle Shanahan loves to
Yeah.
blow fourth quarter leads.
This is what I want.
Because like I'm a little upset by the narrative.
Mhm.
Why does Kyle Shanahan get credit for
blowing a
the
fourth quarter lead
Atlanta-
as an offensive coordinator.
exactly like it was 28-3? How's that his fault? It's like sorry.
They scored 28 points. They made it that far.
What? Like if
I
you score
know.
28 points, you should probably win the game in most
Especially
situations.
that
Did you-
early.
Did you see the meme where it was the Atlanta Hawks versus the 49ers and Matt Ryan's going to Jimmy G after the game and he's saying he's going to tell you to pass, but you should definitely run the ball.
Like it I don't understand why people are harping on him. Like it's Dan Quinn's defense that let up
Yeah.
points. Why like yes, his offense didn't score any more points than they already did, sure. But
Yeah.
he wasn't the head coach. And in this situation, a 10-point lead isn't that much. It's not.
Yeah.
It's
It's-
a 2-possession game.
Second biggest half.
But with 7 minutes left and
That's
you have
still not
I think it was
a lot.
96% chance
yeah, but
of
win
winning.
probability is a fucking load of shit. Because
I
when
know,
I love to look at it because you remember the national championship game where it was Alabama Clemson, the one where Deshaun ends up going down the field and so win probability was at fucking like 99%, and I was feeling great.
Yep.
And my
So
heart
was
still got
Deshaun
broke.
though. Deshaun was feeling real great. Just
Yeah.
marching
So,
on
like,
down there. Hello.
I I don't think that a 10-point lead isn't like it's a 28-3. It's not 25
Yeah.
points.
No.
And saying that it's the second biggest comeback in Super Bowl history, like, okay, and
Is it statistically?
yeah, it's 10 points, which is
Really?
shocking. That
Yeah.
it's because I guess
It's the second largest fourth quarter comeback though, right? Not
I think
total
it's
comeback?
comeback period.
I thought it was fourth quarter comeback. If that's comeback period, that's fucking nuts.
Well, I mean, it's
That's
only
a 2-score game.
Exactly. It's the fact that either the Super Bowl, the team gets out to a big lead and just doesn't give it up,
Yeah.
or that it's a close game all the way down
Yeah.
to the end. You know what I mean? Like,
Here's my
crazy.
thing. Like, I don't know how any of you guys might remember this, but like, how much time was it left in the Atlanta versus Patriots where they started making the comeback down from 25 points, right? Because it was 7 minutes left when they were down 10 in the fourth quarter, right? Like, I don't know in terms of relative time, like you need 25 points in I don't remember how long amount of time, and then you need in this game 10 points in 7, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, they got the stop they needed, right? Credit to the Chiefs, like they stopped them where the run game's been working all game up until the end of the third quarter, and then when they needed the stop, they got it. They got the ball back, and they get the touchdown. So, I mean, I don't know if you could blame them for that because they didn't convert on the one most pivotal drive of the game, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, your defense was the one that gave up the points. So I forget his first name, but Robert Saleh, I think it is. Like,
Yep,
I mean,
sure.
he didn't. They didn't put too much of the camera on him during that fourth quarter.
No.
I'll tell you that.
No.
I think a lot of it is like much ado about nothing, to be honest.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
it's weird because okay, so let's talk about the Super Bowl as a whole. I thought it was the most entertaining, boring game ever.
It was a good game, I think, because it was close.
I don't know.
It was
Like,
close, and it
There
was
weren't
first-
many.
There
were
was nothing
many-
that
third
blew
quarter
your
went
mind.
so slow.
There was
Yeah.
nothing huge in the first quarter, the first half. Like,
Sorry.
There was the end. They did the end around like 3 different
Yeah.
times, and it went for 10+ yards each time. But like,
Yeah.
there was no Patrick Mahomes 30 or 40-yard completion until he did it with Tyreek Hill late in the game.
Sorry, it wasn't a slow game because I thought one of my takeaways was the Super Bowl went by really quickly. Like it's the middle of the fourth quarter, and I'm looking at my dad, and I'm just like, doesn't it feel like this game has just flown by? Like it needs like an extra like quarter because like the halftime takes you totally out of it, and then because San Francisco's running it so much. Because San Francisco is running it so much, the clock's running and so it's moving. Like I felt like there was so much less action than there should have been, and like possessions were held to a premium, and it was only really at the 6-minute mark when the Chiefs started making their comeback. That's when the game actually got interesting because outside of that, the third and the first were just a nothing kind of game. Even the second was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm with that.
Was it better than last Super Bowl? Sure, because nothing happened.
I think in the perspective of everybody was expecting like a huge like 60,
shootout,
70
or
point
they would try
shootout,
it.
right?
Yeah.
And I think from that kind of perspective, it was kind of a letdown. But I mean, at the end of the day, like a fourth quarter 10-point lead comeback, I mean, it's still very entertaining in my books.
No,
especially because I was rooting for him, right?
Yeah, it wasn't an exciting like high scoring game, but it was still a really good game, like in a football sense, right?
Because it was never really over.
No, so it was close the entire game.
Yeah.
Like for me, like we had like whatever, like 40 people. We had like a party and there were 49ers fans. Nobody was actually a Chiefs fan, but we all jumped on the anti-49ers bandwagon, and it was just a fun time throughout the night. It was hilarious.
The entire room was cheering for the Chiefs at my house. I'm like, I'll take the Niners. It's fine.
Yeah, it was the entire room cheering for the Chiefs except for 3 people.
Really?
Like throughout the entire house, I mean. Like it was probably like 38 to like 3.
Yeah.
I was totally ready to jump like over to the 49ers just because I was like, well, I'd rather be right, but it's like a win-win situation. It's like, all right, 49ers win, well, then I'm right. If the Chiefs win, then I'd rather see that. So, but I didn't end up flopping.
Okay.
Whole house was rooting for the Chiefs. So
I have a question.
That was good.
I have a very,
up?
very strange question. So it was
Mhm.
brought up. One of the people at the party is a Seahawks fan,
Right.
and he said, "Yeah, I want the 49ers to win, so they
What?
could bring no listen, so they could bring the title back to the division."
No,
Your
fuck that. Like,
thoughts?
there's
Your
no
thoughts?
division pride. That shit is trash. That shit is
I
trash,
mean,
my guy.
I think it makes sense if you're a Seahawks
Nah,
fan because
no.
you know you can beat the Niners, and you're like, you know what? If we didn't get hosed on that call against Green Bay, we probably could have won a Super Bowl. And I think I'd take more pride in that and be like,
But
you
it's
know
like
what? We were
NFC
probably.
South pride.
I think
No.
that
Like,
part's
me
that part of
personally,
it's stupid.
I'm not
I don't agree
cheering
with
for the
that.
I'm not cheering
No.
for the Cowboys ever.
That was like me because I'm an Alabama fan. If
Mhm.
I root for LSU in the final,
Mhm.
I'm like, no, I'm not gonna fucking do that.
Yeah.
It's like Red Sox.
I
fans
understand
cheering
the
for
thing where it's
Yankees.
like they'll be like, oh, it's SEC pride, but that's
Mhm.
more of like a college thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see it in the NFL. Like, I
NFL.
just think that's weird.
No, I just wanted to know what you guys
Especially because
thought.
they've had some battles this year.
Yeah.
Like those two teams alone.
Both going right to the end of the game, right? Like very
Yeah.
close.
The
game.
first one,
overtime, and
overtime.
then
Mhm.
the second
Yeah.
one right where Hollister got
Hollister,
stopped on the
yeah.
goal line. It was great.
You want to talk about Jimmy G, Morrow?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't look at my phone much. Like whatever. We
Yeah,
had a
you
lot of
bastard!
people.
You just left me on red all day.
I forgot to respond, so I'll apologize on the podcast.
It's just
Dick
like,
move.
okay, let me send 7 straight texts with no one responding to me. Cool, guys.
Yeah, I know that was pretty cold.
I didn't even have my phone on me. I
Yeah.
was just like, not.
I didn't look at it until like the next morning where I
Yeah.
had to go into work.
You had it
Yeah.
on you after, Brant.
Sorry. I got a text
So-
from my boss at like 8 o'clock. He's like, "Can you work at 5 a.m.?" I'm like, "I'm putting my phone down." I didn't. Nope.
Everything beyond that point was not looked at that
No,
night.
Yeah.
I never saw my phone again.
So I do want to
Well-
entertain what you were originally going to say, Amir, because I feel like I should have
Yeah.
entertained it then. I didn't do it at the time,
Sure.
so I'm all ears.
Sure. I don't know. I don't think that there's a significant difference between Jimmy G and Eli. To be honest, like, I even after like the game, Jimmy G was like on fire.
Yeah, I mean, but in
I don't think that there's a
There's a
significant like.
significant difference.
Can you win a Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo? I still think
Yeah.
that you can.
Yeah.
yeah,
I think
no, you can win with Jimmy Garoppolo. It's
Yeah.
just at the end of the day, when you need a touchdown, when you're down 24-20, and you need a score, and it needs to be a touchdown because you're down 4, and you go out, you get 2 first downs of the run with Mostert, the catch with Kendrick Bourne, and then you go a 4 and out.
Yep.
And then you get the ball back again. The game's essentially over at this point, and then you throw a pick. All I'm saying is,
Hold on, that
I'm
pick is
taking
not
Eli-
on him. That pick
no,
was just an
and
incredible pick.
at that point,
Okay,
at that
okay.
point, the game's over. I
Yeah,
understand
yeah,
that,
yeah,
but in that fourth quarter, I think it was like 2 minutes left, or
Mhm.
just under 2 minutes. But they had all 3 timeouts at the time
Mm-hmm.
still, and they get a fourth and they go 4 and out. They think he got
Mhm.
sacked on the 4th and 9 or 4th and 10, whatever it was. I mean, that's where I draw the line of Eli being a clutch moment quarterback and just the average quarterback you see and you call him during the season. Like that's
I think
one
the
difference I
biggest
make.
difference between Jimmy G and Eli Manning is one of them looks like he got hit in the face with a frying pan, and the other one dates porn stars. Done.
Great life.
Game tape aside, that's the biggest difference.
I mean, like, look, in the Super Bowl where, what is it, 42?
41.
All I
50.
refer to them as
Okay, in the one in
12.
the one in 2008,
Yeah.
Eli was 19 for 34,
Trash.
Okay.
255, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Okay.
Trash.
Not great. What? Let me look at the second one. 46.
That's the David Tyree game.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that the Tyree game?
Mhm.
Yes. The
And then the
greatest
next one went off.
moment in Super Bowl history.
The next one, he was 30 for 40, 1 touchdown, 300 yards.
All of them to
Victor.
every
Yeah.
pass to Victor Cruz.
Yeah.
I remember hearing his name so much in that one. Him, JPP,
They had
and who's the other guy? on
Mario
defense?
Manningham had the tiptoe cat.
Hakeem Nicks.
Justin Tuck.
Justin Tuck is who I was looking for.
OT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
JPP and Justin Tuck, I heard their name constantly. And then
Yeah.
fucking Victor Cruz all game. Just constantly.
I don't think that there should be a referendum on the 49ers. Like, they're a really good team.
They were great.
I think they'll compete
I don't
again
think
next
there's
year.
any, even with Kyle Shanahan, it's like look, the reason that you get there is because of your play calling.
Mhm.
Kyle Shanahan really has right now like is the Andy Reid syndrome,
Mhm.
where everyone will shit on you for not coming up in the big game, but like
Yep.
he gets you to that big game, and like
Yeah.
eventually it'll just break through. And
They had a play call. Sorry, they had a play call early on. Just on that note, where Deebo Samuel comes in, he takes the handoff and
he
I don't
looked
know
to
if he
throw.
faked it like he was going to throw or he
He
looked
looked like he was
Oh
going.
yeah, yeah.
and he saw that gap and hit that. I'm like, man, that's something you draw up and it's like that's perfect. Like that worked out perfectly in their favor. Like
Yeah,
he could have made
even
that
when
pass.
exactly when the pass was covered, they still netted whatever
Yeah.
it was, like 8-7
Yeah.
yards on the play. Like it
Yeah.
it was foolproof. Like
Yeah.
he does well in that. It's just I think I kind of joked about it just because there were 49ers fans there. Like he's a choke artist, but I mean, yeah, like to his credit, the only reason they're there is because of the offense and
Yeah.
how dominant it was.
If
And
you
look,
were to tell me day one of the season that the Niners would be here, I would have
I'd
laughed.
be like,
in your
get the
face.
fuck out of
For
here.
real.
They were
We all-
they the second
fact
pick in
that
the
they're here
draft.
is crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
They were trash. Like Jimmy G came in and made them look like a football team, but like it was still not like, yeah, this
Shanahan
team's going to
took
the
them
Super Bowl next year.
Yeah.
if you're gonna
Crazy.
tell me one team goes from 4-12 last year to now Super Bowl,
Yeah.
you know, and
12-4,
whatever,
right?
10 points from the Super Bowl, right? Like
Yeah.
you're telling me that the Giants now 4-12 this year going to Super Bowl,
Yeah.
that doesn't happen. Like I'm not
No.
putting no money on that. It doesn't happen.
No.
Like
I hope
look
I'm
at
wrong, but
look at
like-
the
But I doubt it.
Falcons and where they're at right now.
Yep.
In comparison, since Kyle Shanahan's left, right?
Mhm.
Bad.
Yeah. Steady
But
decline.
the crazy thing is, like, look, if I had told you that the LA Rams would have the year from hell and could the 49ers be in that exact situation next year? It's possible. Like
I mean,
that's the shit thing about like football. Like sometimes you're
Rams-
just at the mercy of like health.
the Rams' biggest thing is that Jared Goff just forgot how to play quarterback all year long.
Which like
Could that happen to Jimmy G?
yes.
Sure. Absolutely. But he also isn't a big impact on that offense. Like he has big games, but like that run game is their biggest.
He's
threat,
good looking Alex Smith.
He's
Yeah.
he's the take it as you need it quarterback. Like they're a run first offense.
Yeah.
And Jimmy G knows that. So
Mhm.
I mean, he's not the one who's gonna force the ball unless he completely has to.
Mhm.
So I mean, it's not that I don't think he'll ever have to. He's gonna
Put the
forget how
team
to
on
play
his back. He's
football.
like, yeah.
Just
I-
he's gonna get forced into a position where he's not really accustomed to, and it's gonna.
If you have to, if
him
he
getting
has to put a
exploited.
team on his back, then like
You're screwed.
you're probably in a bad situation.
Exactly.
Could he do it?
Sure. He's
Potentially.
done it
but,
a
like,
couple times this year.
he's a really, really good game manager, and I don't think
Mhm.
that should be seen as like a negative connotation to it
No.
Mhm.
because Tom Brady's the ultimate game
I was
manager.
gonna say, what a
Yeah.
shock that
Yeah.
the guy that came up underneath Brady is a great game manager. What a shock!
Mhm.
I think it would have been hilarious if he would have won that Super Bowl with Brady and Belichick on hand because they were both there for that. What do you call it? All-time team or whatever it was, NFL 100 team or whatever it was.
Mhm.
So I think it would have been hilarious just to watch him win in front of both of them and be like, "Hey, how are you? You traded me. Thanks."
That
How's
was
the-
a cool.
Taking a seat.
That was cool. The whole NFL 100 thing.
Mhm.
I wish that they like did it. It was even longer because like you
There were a
get the
lot of-
pan of like the great quarterbacks, and you're just like it's like a 5-second thing, and they move on to the next one. I'm just like that kind of sucked, but it was an entertaining Super Bowl. It was good for any thoughts on the halftime, boys? I want to hear Morris first because like I haven't heard.
I mean, it was entertaining. It was entertaining. I mean, we all vacated. All the guys vacated the room, and all the moms
What?
and we went into the kitchen. We saw a TV in the kitchen, but everybody in the big screen, all the women went there. I mean, we were still watching.
We had 17 people in our basement watching the
Yeah.
same screen with their jaws on the floor. So
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
100%.
Here's the worst part though. This happened. Okay, it wasn't as bad as the time Beyonce did the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Because that time, my grandparents came to visit at my house at the same exact time, and they
Nice.
came downstairs. And
Nice.
I'm just trying to watch Beyonce perform, and my grandma's right next to me. I'm just like, what is this? Holy shit! Fuck.
Hilarious.
But this time, just my parents were there. But even that, I just loved the fact that there was a complete ass off, and that was
It was
incredible.
great.
Incredible.
Gerard Piqué is one lucky.
Oh
son
my
of
god,
a
dude.
bleep.
Yeah. Oh, that woman's 43.
Who would have had okay,
Insane.
but J-Lo's 50, but
Damn.
like who would have had Shakira winning the battle of the asses? Who would have thought?
I might have.
No, you wouldn't have. Shut up.
I might have. Dude, I've had a crush on Shakira for like 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how everyone's just getting on the Shakira bandwagon. This woman's been gorgeous for 15 years. It's like, don't do this.
What happened to your Asian
Shut
Asian
up.
your yellow fever? Your yellow fever, buddy.
To me,
I
like
couldn't name you one.
Shakira's also fallen off the map for me since like 2010. So I think
She hasn't done
kinda-
anything.
She kind of just gets lost in between all the other people that get brought up all the time. She's like a
No,
gem.
there was the
she's
Waka
she's
Waka.
a
What
diamond
year
in the
was that?
rough.
She did.
She always has
Shantae.
been.
Shantae was 4 years ago, I think. It was when we were in Guelph Humber. So
No, but the only thing I ever remember from Shakira was 2010, where she did the World Cup song.
Yeah,
Waka Waka?
Yeah,
Yeah, like that was the last time she was ever relevant to me. And then she went like on this
pay more
10-year.
attention to Shakira then.
A
A lot of her stuff now.
That's the one lesson I learned from the Super Bowl halftime show.
A lot of her stuff is like Spanish now, so I mean,
Yeah, which
It
I mean,
might
I'm
not
not
be your
opposed
cup
to.
of
It's a
tea.
big summer vibe.
yeah, that's the big thing.
It's,
I love watching both J Balvin and Big Bunny come out in the stupidest looking outfits and like
where
try
was
their very
Pitbull?
best.
Where was
I don't know. That's
Pitbull?
kind of weird. They didn't do that. He
I
was
think
in like
he was the pregame. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
but-
he also did the Chiefs post he did one of the parties after.
Oh,
I
really?
don't know if it was the Chiefs or the 49ers.
Yeah.
But he did one of them.
No, I remember.
I
seeing
think
the
this was the
pregame.
better play.
But I think like that's what I like, the fact that they had the two artists.
Mm-hmm.
And also like the Super Bowl, everyone's like, oh, this is just a lip syncing bowl. I'm like, it's a fucking huge stadium where they have to do it for TV. Like the safe thing is to lip sync. And then like a lot of the time also that they weren't lip syncing at some time. Yeah.
No.
So you know,
I think it was great.
it was great. Fantastic.
12 out of
Realistically,
10.
nobody's going there to watch them sing. People are there to watch them shake their ass. Let's get real. Like, come on, that's what's getting ratings. Come on,
They're there for their dancing abilities, Morrow.
Yeah,
They're-
but like, what's
Maura,
gonna
let's
get
put
most
it- let's put
ratings?
it-
We took media class. What gets ratings?
Let's put it in a better way. They're there to be
Okay, yeah,
entertained.
obviously, yes. They're there to
They're there to
perform
be
and put on a
entertained.
show, but you know,
Entertained.
you don't think that they're getting, hinted to,
Yeah.
shake a little bit.
Please
Yeah,
make
obviously.
this as provocative as you can because we make more money that way.
Exactly. Like, I'm not trying to take away from they're not undeniably talented,
Yeah,
but like
incredible.
Speaking
Speaking of money, I'll get you off that so you can stop rambling on it. Speaking of money, did you see that the price for a Super Bowl ad this year?
Oh, wasn't it like
It's
3 million?
$5.6 million for 30 seconds.
Really?
30
Honestly,
seconds.
not that much.
Dude, Coke had like 3 commercials every time it hit commercial. I'm like, how are you affording this?
But we didn't get all of the US ads. That's the thing.
No. But
We only
I
got
saw,
some of them.
I saw that same stupid Diet Coke commercial where she's on like the people's shoulders and it keeps getting taller and taller.
Oh,
I saw that commercial like 14 times. I'm like, that's a lot of money.
my
The
dad
one
hooked up the
commercial I didn't
antenna.
The one commercial I didn't see, but like if you watch sports enough, you see it
Mhm.
all the time. That I'm actually okay with is the what's the bike? The Peloton, the one where
Okay.
the dad's just saying, "You get hot."
Oh.
Like that's actually a good commercial because it's legitimately funny.
You
see
guys got
the-
you guys got Canadian commercials, right?
Yeah, I watched
Yeah.
this.
My dad hooked up the antenna.
Oh,
So
I
we
was
were getting,
gonna
I think, a
stream that.
Buffalo station,
Oh.
and we were getting everything. We got like the Post Malone one where I think
Yeah.
it was Pepsi, or I
We-
forget
I
which one.
shit. I think that's Coke too, isn't it? Because
It
it's
might have
Coke,
been Coke.
Coke Energy or something like that.
Like
right?
he's falling all
Yeah,
over
yeah.
the convenience store. Everything's there.
Yeah,
He's like, I'm gonna
yeah.
take both.
I like the Smart Pack one. That was fucking hilarious.
The Smart Pack.
I saw that one like before, but like
Yeah.
that's so perfectly Boston too. Like
Well,
everything
the
about
one
it.
with Jason Momoa was pretty good too.
I don't think I saw it.
The one
I
where
saved a bunch of them to
He
watch
takes off
later,
his
but-
arms and he turns into like a noodle arms. Like it was pretty funny.
That's good. Super Bowl's fun.
I
It was
forget
a
like
good
the
time.
problem is you forget what each is associated to. Like I remember
Oh, I don't have a clue.
the Jason Momoa commercial, but I completely forget what the brand
Did you
associated
guys
to that.
see the
thing was.
Budweiser What's Up one with all like the smart home stuff?
Yeah. That was
That was good. I like how they like kind of brought it back to their old self by like introducing all the smart home stuff. I think that was really cool. And then they also offered money off your Uber rides, which is sick.
Yeah, which was
I know
good for you.
Great play. I loved it.
Pepsi did the one with Rihanna, like the whole paint it black one.
Did they?
Like they did like the
I missed
Pepsi
all
Black
of
or
them.
something.
I saw like 3.
I'm trying.
I think we spent enough time on the Super Bowl. What do you guys think?
At least on the commercials, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a game. One team won, one team didn't.
Fans don't want to call their shots early on who's winning it next year.
Carolina Panthers.
Relax. With what quarterback?
TU Tungalungalunga.
I don't know if he's gonna play.
No, he's not.
TU
Tungalungalova.
Who wins the Super Bowl next year? My early pick, Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is a similar situation as like the Chiefs were last year, because the Chiefs were so damn good last year, and then they lost out early, and now the Ravens were so good this year and lost out early. Trying to think. I want to say maybe Seattle. I think Seattle's got a good chance again. But
interesting.
Maybe pick up a couple of pieces. I think Green Bay is going to get worse.
Is Clowney there next year? Or is he UFA?
He's a UFA, but they can tag him. But they said that they wouldn't tag him.
Yeah. I don't know.
You guys want to know my pick?
Yeah.
Okay.
The fucking Chiefs.
Really?
Why not? Why not?
Because that's not fun.
Okay, like
you would have said, of course you say that.
I mean, look. The Chiefs are plus 650. Baltimore's plus 750. 49ers are plus 750. Like, and then it's a bunch of plus 1200s and further. Like,
so right now they're the Super Bowl favorite for next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they should be.
No.
Yeah. What I mean, 6-1 odds.
Yeah.
It's 6.5. But like, come on, that's
the Cleveland Browns.
No, that is the most crock of shit, because Cleveland's 3,300. Who's betting on Cleveland right now? Legitimately,
they have a new coach.
Shut the fuck up.
You know how each year, like a new quarterback emerges and comes out of nowhere and has an MVP season.
It could be Kyler next year.
Oh, I was talking about the other guy from that draft. Oh shit. I was gonna say Daniel Jones.
It could be.
I'm picking him in all of my pools next year. I'm high on him.
Except you dropped him in ours. You kept dropping him.
He's not
Last time
good.
I saw, I did finish higher than you. Right? We had to bring that up.
Jesus. Ruthless. Oh well, we got how many?
I think that's a great way to end off football, isn't it?
Yeah, football will miss you.
I can take a joke at my expense.
Yeah, I know.
Some people can't. We'll talk about that later. What do you guys want to talk next? NHL or basketball, little?
Whatever you want.
All right, let's go NBA quickly, because this is kind of developing mid-show a little. Basically, Mark Stein from the New York Times, he posted like a newsletter where he let me read this out for you. So 2 longtime Ujiri watchers, whom I have trust deeply for their reads on the situation, have been telling me since December, when the Knicks fired coach David Fizdale after their 4-18 start, that Ujiri intends to maneuver his way to the Knicks after his moves helped the Raptors win the championship last season. Both watchers went so far as to proclaim that Ujiri may even try to bring along Bobby Webster, Toronto's well-regarded general manager. One told me he is convinced that Ujiri's relationship with the Toronto's team owner, Larry Tannenbaum, is such that the Raptors would ultimately bless the move if Ujiri wants it badly enough. Some league insiders have also questioned whether Dolan is all in on Ujiri as advertised, because of the perception in various corners of that the league office, specifically NBA Commissioner Adams, specifically is pushing is pushing Ujiri as the ideal candidate to try to rescue the Knicks. Memories of Ujiri famously fleecing the Knicks in the Carmelo Anthony trade when he was in Denver in 2011, and again in the Andrea Bargnani trade in 2013, are described as potential Dolan turnoffs. So, there's a lot to unpack there, just from the perspective that Toronto would bless Masai if he wanted to leave.
Yep.
Two,
He'd
that
bring
he
Bobby
also
Webster.
take Bobby Webster.
Can I interject quick on that?
Sure.
What does Bobby Webster do for this team?
So he's the GM. He does all the.
I know he's the GM.
He's
but
the
what
one
does
that
he
signs
actually
it.
do?
No, I don't know. Like if
He's the one that's calling for the trades and doing like
Is
Bobby
he?
did.
But is he?
Bobby did all the work for the Kawhi trade.
Did he?
Yeah, and he
All I
just
ever
called
heard was
Masai to
Masai's
update
name.
him. Huh?
All I ever heard was Masai's name.
No,
Like
no.
No? Just no.
No.
Okay. All right.
No.
I feel like I've never heard Bobby Webster's name ever. Like
You
I know
also
he's
don't
the,
watch basketball.
I know he's the GM of this team.
Mhm.
And anytime that something happens, it's like Masai Ujiri this, Masai Ujiri that. And it's just like
realistically,
Bobby
what
Webster.
Because
more?
people don't even like take into account, oh, he's actually the GM of the team. They still call Masai the GM of the Raptors, not
Which
the
is
president.
which is nuts.
Yeah.
That's
Like
like
my thing is how much more can or what more can he do to the organization, right? Like he's already brought us a championship. He's already left us in a situation where we can still compete despite not having Kawhi.
the Raptors
like-
have the exact same record at this time that they did.
Yeah.
They're projected to have one more win.
Are they? Yeah.
Mhm.
Exact same record
Which
as
is
last
crazy.
year. Hilarious.
And so ESPN's insider, well, front office insider, Bobby Marks just took to like, you know how they have those panel hits. He just called the Knicks an expansion team and calls it a 2 or 3 year project. So do you want to leave that and go to that, or a team that could potentially sway Giannis to come to Toronto in 2 years? Like, there's no chance he's going to New York, even if he has a relationship with Masai.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, for him, it's kind of like I've done it. What the hell else do I need to do here?
Yeah.
I just wouldn't want to be in like associated with Jim Dolan.
Fair. But yeah, that's true. Fair
I
enough.
mean, if you're the Raptors, I think you're in a spot where you have to bless anything he wants because he's brought you somewhere you'd never.
If he wants to go, you let him go, man. It's
Right?
like,
Like I think,
disagree.
but I think it's in the perspective of you grant him his wish. He's already brought you the championship, right? Like
Not
out of the
only that,
respect you
man.
have for the guy.
he made basketball something in this city.
No,
Like, not only did he bring a championship, but like nobody gave a shit about basketball.
Mhm.
What at the start of his tenure, even, and then he created them to be what they are today. It's like
No, I agree that you can let him go if he
Yeah.
if that's what he wants, but I'm getting compensation back for him.
that's fair.
No, definitely, yeah.
Like, I want first round picks.
Yeah, especially if you're taking Webster too.
Yeah,
I
like, isn't that
can't
how
let
it
them.
works?
I can't let them both go.
Mm.
You know, because like you need some semblance of a front office left,
Mhm.
because then you're in a situation where you're looking for an entire
An entire
team.
front office.
My
Yeah.
question is, when would this be effective? He's under contract still next year, is what I'm led to believe. He's up after 2020-21.
Mhm.
That's a lot of 20.
Pardon me.
Yeah, I know.
2020,
Sorry,
2020.
I was reading something else.
2020, 2021 season.
is
So
when-
the end
After
of
next year
after next season, yes.
is when he's officially no
A free
longer
agent,
under
yeah.
contract.
Yes.
So assuming they tried to pull this off this upcoming off season,
hmm
they would have to give the Raptors
something.
whatever, some sort of compensation to offset the fact that he's no longer serving
Correct.
that one extra year.
Do
that he has
presidents
under
have
his
opt out
contract.
clauses?
So there was something talked about how he would have one, but now everyone's just saying he has a contract that runs through next season. So
Exactly.
Okay.
I guess not now.
So no.
But
opt-out.
also, like, I'm not a big fan of this year's draft, so I don't really want their first round pick this year. So
Yeah. So no, thank you.
I'd want,
Yeah.
but aren't they also? I was just reading the NBA news.
What's
It's
up?
like they're looking to move Randall. They're looking to move
Yeah.
Marcus Morris. Like
Yeah.
those are the only two guys on that team right now that are putting up any points.
Mhm.
Right? I know. What's his name?
taking both.
RJ Barrett's been injured. Like
Barrett
where
for-
does the
I was just
for
about to say
Masai?
Barrett for Masai, straight up, 1 for 1.
I don't even. I wouldn't do that.
No.
No,
Why?
because I'm confident in Messiah finding better players.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'd rather have the picks because at least you take those weapons away from him. Because next thing you know, you're gonna get Pascal.
You can't
You're
do
gonna get
anything.
Pascal Siakam in
Yeah.
of 2021, right?
He can't draft anyone if he doesn't have any draft picks.
Exactly.
It's a good point.
But also, like, it was said earlier on in the day that Woj was like that there's potential that they could go the agent route like the Warriors did and the Lakers did with Myers, who's the Golden State GM, and Rob Pelinka, who's the Lakers. There's the potential that they could do that, and the guy that they're targeting is basically Zion's agent, Damian Lillard's agent. So that's a possibility. So if you're already bringing up that, then I don't know if you're using it as a thing for Masai to be like, make a decision now, but like you can't. It's the middle of the year.
Mhm.
Why would you? I think it's more the fact that like they could legitimately just move on, which hey, good for you. The other shocking part in the thing that I said, the quote, was the fact that because Masai has swindled the Knicks before,
Mhm.
that's a reason that they'd be turned off, and that the NBA is thinks that Masai could be the savior for them, is the reason why they wouldn't really
I don't
want
really.
to do it.
He swindled you. He can swindle other teams.
I know, like
You would want that, right? Like
Yeah.
you've seen firsthand what he can do.
Yeah.
mhm. I think Masai saying I hope he stays because like I'm seeing it on Twitter and how people are reacting, like it's way worse than when Kawhi left.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah,
if
because you expected Kawhi to leave. Like that was kind
Yeah.
of like it was like, yeah, whatever. He's here for a year. Maybe we win. Maybe we don't.
and
Messiah, Messiah's here to
Masai-
continue building.
He
Masai
was
said on
still
multiple
part of.
occasions,
He was still head of ops or president at the time they introduced the whole "We the North" campaign, right?
I believe
I
so.
think it was GM at the time. I don't think that they
Yeah.
had a president. I'm not sure, but yeah,
Right,
I
like
still,
the,
like,
the growth they've
MLS
taken not only as a team but also as a
Since he got
brand.
there, man.
it's
That's
been
what I mean.
huge.
That's what I mean. Like he's turned them into a brand in
Mhm.
Canada.
Yeah,
Like
Mhm.
forget how good he's made the team. Like he's turned them into something here.
Okay, here's something, and it's a legitimate question in my opinion.
Mhm.
The Raptors are a better franchise than the Leafs. Change my mind.
in what perspective? Because I kind of agree with you.
I don't.
Winning.
There's a win. There's a
They have
more
one
winning.
championship.
There's a
How many-
more winning environment when
me-
it comes to the Raptors.
Call me when you're the second most winningest team in your sport.
When was the last time they won though?
Exactly. Like
It
and
doesn't matter. You're going to
the
talk
league-
about them as a
it's like-
franchise. They don't have the shelf life that the Leafs have to even
And-
compare that.
But that's just because of market demand. Like
Yeah.
in a majority, like in a majorly dominated city, Toronto is leaning towards hockey. Like the Raptors are extremely popular. Like in
Sure, but they
Right,
don't.
like-
it's a better run organization. I don't think
it's
that's
a
a doubt.
despite being Maple Leafs sport entertainment owned, they're
Raptors
still
are the
that much
better
more popular. Relative,
They're
like I think
not, though.
relatively speaking, like the Raptors are that much more
They-
successful. I'm with Amir.
Man, like the Raptors are competing with the Leafs as one hockey team of 7 in the country. The Raptors have an entire countrywide scale,
No,
and I
that's
think
not-
it's still a battle.
That's not what I'm arguing. What I'm arguing is the front office, the way that they run operations.
It's all run that much better for the Raptors. Yeah,
Uh.
100%. Only recently have
Okay.
the Leafs management started to
Yeah,
actually
it's
care
not-
about winning.
Sure,
They've gone
And I think-
decades without winning. Nothing ever changed up until then. Now they bring in Shanahan. They brought in Dubas. They brought in, a
Mhm.
winning mentality, and we're
Mhm.
finally starting to see playoffs after whatever it was, like 10 years.
they win
Right?
more, yes, but like, does that not speak to the fact that like the Leafs have literally sold out their building for the last 20 years? Like they don't
that's-
not sell out.
That's due to the
regardless-
fact. That's due to the fact of market demand. Like they could
Right,
have had.
but
They were the
that's what
worst.
That's
team
your
in the
judgment
league.
of the franchise is the fact that they can still have the name that they do despite the fact that they suck.
I think that's the popularity of the sport, and
That's
not
just the popularity of the
on-
sport in such a great hockey
organization.
city.
I don't know, man.
Because there's a reason why they won't bring another GTA team into the NHL.
yeah,
Because it takes away the market share from the Leafs.
Mhm.
because I'm sure
They support it, yes.
the Von Vipers, like run at Al Palladini, near my house. They were an NHL team. They would sell out too. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's tough to call the Raptors a better franchise than the Leafs at any point anytime soon, just because they don't have the shelf life. They've been good for.
What do you value? How many teams were in the league in '67? Like legit. Like I'm just legitimately asking.
I think no more than 16.
No, 67. I think there might have been more, but early on,
that was when it expanded.
Like honestly, I don't until there is like over 20 teams. I don't really count any champ. Like, and this goes for like the Celtics and the Lakers claiming titles from like.
They went from 6 to 12 in 1967.
12 yeah.
So come on.
So they won the first year. They went to 12. Well, there's like 7 teams in the NBA, is there not? The rest of them are battling for the first overall pick. So
I mean, but look,
this year's definitely been one of the most level basketball seasons ever.
Yeah, but
at least in my following of the sport for the last 5 years.
No, you're right. I think it's an argument that I would favor the Raptors in that scenario.
I'm with Amir in the sense.
I think it depends on. I think it depends on how you're judging the franchise.
Well, money talks. Obviously, the Leafs are winning in that battle, but in terms of popularity, I feel like the Raptors are definitely trending up relative to the Leafs.
No, I don't disagree that the Raptors are trending upwards. I just don't think they've hit the status that the Leafs are at.
No, they never will, though.
No. They might eventually. I think they're closing the gap for sure. And I think as long as you keep this trend of winning going with the Raptors and losing with the Leafs, I think there's a chance that they pass them eventually.
And a lot of it is based on Masai. And if he leaves, then I think you have to reevaluate everything. Yeah. Yep. The NBA trade deadline, I think it's going to be a little dull. It's kind of shocking how close it is. The fact that it's Thursday. I mean,
this Thursday?
Yeah.
Oh,
the NHL was not even for 2 weeks. The NHL starts like a month before.
Like I know there's not too many big names. I know Drummond and Rose are two of the guys I heard
traded, but like I don't know.
Relative to last year,
that's of significance.
The NBA trade deadline's before the All-Star game.
Yeah, they changed it to before a couple years ago.
It's weird.
The thing that I holy shitted on. Well, throughout the podcast, it was developing that the Dodgers and Red Sox could come to an agreement. And breaking news, the Red Sox have agreed to trade Mookie Betts to the Dodgers.
For?
Really?
Tell me Gavin Lux.
David Price for Alex Verdugo. That's it. Look, Brant legged out. He's so shocked.
I'm trying to pull this up on my phone. Where did you get? Oh, there it is. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mookie Betts and David Price to the Dodgers.
So you're getting Gavin Lux back. There's no fucking way you're not.
They're not.
Seriously?
Yeah, because they want to. They're sending away $93 million and getting only Alex Verdugo. Basically, I think Verdugo is part of the package coming back. But I think he's the headliner. You're not getting Gavin Lux if you're taking on Price's contract.
I guess he's
I would have done that trade all day long if I'm
the Dodgers?
If I'm the Jays. Fuck that.
Right. Yeah.
Realistically, if you're getting the prospects or if you're getting the package of
if I'm getting Betts but I have only for 1 year and I'm going for it and I only have to give up like one B-level prospect. If you're telling me like it's Biggio going back, done.
Yes and no. Just because Betts is a free agent at the end of the year and good
luck.
But
like, is it not the best time to go now when you got everyone young? Because then you can.
I know, but good luck convincing Mookie Betts to re-sign here.
It's not even that though. Like, it's just we're legitimately gonna go for it because we actually have a shot while we're not paying anyone.
Yeah, but like, it's also one of those things that they dumped everyone so they could have this future piece, and now you're just like, okay, this is our year. We're just gonna blow it up a little bit for a shot at this season. Where I don't think. I don't think Mookie Betts pushes you into a title contender.
Blowing it up though in any way, like
who's left in the Red Sox now? So they still got Bogarts.
They suck. They suck.
No, but
who the Red Sox?
They suck.
Yeah, now
Mitch
don't
Moreland,
they still have JD Martinez? JD Martinez, Xander Bogart.
But
I mean, don't they?
Xander was good last year. Rafa Devers.
Like
They've
I don't
got
think
players
they're gonna.
on offense.
Are
Basically,
they in any position to challenge for
Devers,
the AL East?
and Bogart.
Their rotation sucks,
It's Sale who knows.
and that's it.
Yeah. Well, oh well.
Nah, thing isn't bad. Eduardo.
Who? Eduardo, yeah.
It's good.
Outside of that, man, I don't
That's what I mean. Like it's the Jays could legitimately take a step forward next year because
Yeah. The problem
one
is
of the Red Sox or Yankees are down.
it's the Yankees, and then the Jays somewhere down here.
What's the Jays rotation going into the next year right now?
The Jays?
Ryu,
Yeah.
It'll be Ryu, Shu, Roark.
50 feet of shit, and
Yeah.
then
And then it's like Chase Anderson, Ryan Baraki are slated to be the
a
4 or
bunch of
5.
3s and 4s.
But Nate Pearson will be up
man.
probably by May or June.
Could be a 2.
He's a big boy, man. Fuck.
Nate Pearson could be a 3 this year. Like
this year.
Yeah. If you have here's my unrealistic view of the Jays is like if you have Ryu doing what he did last year, Shu stays healthy and was close to what he was last year, and then you have Pearson come up. Sorry?
Shu's a 3 if healthy.
Yeah, dude, he had a 1.97 ERA last year through I think it was 10 or 12 starts. Like he was good.
You can only trust him for so long.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is he's never been healthy, so you don't know what Shu is.
Mhm.
So if he stays healthy, Ryu comes in, does what he does, and Pearson shows up, and he's what Pearson should be. That top 3 is it's good. Like it can win you games. I don't know if it's going to push you. It's not going to make you the Yankees, but it'll put you in that wild card conversation for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think it could be fun.
Blue Jays baseball.
Apparently,
baby,
there's a
thing again. Let's go.
third team part of the Mookie Betts trade.
The what?
There's a third team involved.
The Jays. Price of the Jays.
What prospect am I getting back? Am I getting Verdugo?
Yeah. The Red Sox are getting nobody. They're just dumping everyone.
Getting rid of the money. So then why didn't we get Betts?
We're getting Gavin Lux
Oh yeah.
and David Price.
Yep.
And they're getting Mookie Betts. Sign and trade.
Crazy.
You heard it here first. Probably not because
What a news dump at 9:16 to just dump it out on us that Mookie Betts is being traded.
This stuff either comes out at 2:30 in the morning or noon. There's no in between. This is weird.
So basically, while the podcast was going, I pasted in
Yeah,
the tweet
I see
that
it.
Yeah, I saw
I
that.
was like, okay, we'll talk about this at the end. And then talk's increasing, and then Jeff Passan just dunks on everyone. He's like, trade's done.
Crazy.
Well,
that came out quick and then hit quick. Just boom. Done.
Yep. That's the thing though. It's kind of sucks because you wonder how good Yahoo Sports could have been if they had actually kept the guys they had. Because they had Woj and Jeff Passan, and they both went to ESPN, and they're the best at what they do.
Money talks.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very valid point.
Yeah. It's just it's one of those things. They're not Yahoo's not even the best at what they are, which typically originally was a search engine.
Rank the rank the MLB insiders with me. The top 3 of Heyman, Rosenthal, Passan. Because I think Passan,
they're all really good. That's the one thing.
Really good. I think Rosenthal's just been good for so long and been on a big platform.
I think the
Hayden
thing
really gets you though.
There's a lot of names in the MLB though that are that you trust. The NBA, there's if it's not coming from Woj or Shams, you're okay, let me wait until they tweet it out. But the MLB, it's there's 5 or 6 names for sure that you're oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I think I would say Rosenthal, Passan, Heyman.
I might go Heyman, Passan.
Heyman.
I think they're tied. I don't think it's.
I think ever since the ESPN move, Passan's been dunking on all of them.
Yeah, he's been good lately.
Rosenthal's
just been around.
Rosie's a distant fourth.
Yeah, I know him. I don't follow the transactions too much. But I know Rosenthal's always
what's the guy in Boston? Nobody likes. Is it Law? Keith Law?
Yeah. No, he's a prospect guy.
Yeah.
He used to be at ESPN. Now he's at the Athletic. If the D'Angelo Russell ends up in Minnesota, Andrew Wiggins will go to the Warriors.
Really?
Wait, rewind. I missed that. D'Angelo Russell goes where?
In Minnesota, because Karl Anthony Towns wants to play with D'Angelo Russell.
Okay.
Um,
All right, man.
Basically, what you're
boss?
saying is they're gonna turn Kevin Durant into
Andrew Wiggins.
D'Angelo Russell, Russell into the first overall pick plus Andrew Wiggins, and then have a starting five of whoever that I forget his name. Is it Westman? I believe. Who's the first overall pick? Wiseman, that guy. He's a center, is he not?
Yeah.
Like I read one of the things. Apparently, he's like a Anthony Davis light.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. You probably know the book more on him than I do.
Light. It's tough to say because he only played college basketball for like 4 games, one game even. Like it's tough to say how good he is in like the created players because you know how like in 2K they basically can load a draft class.
Yeah.
When you load him, he's pretty sick. But I don't think none of them are like a transformational player like a Zion level or Luca. Like it's not.
Yeah, like my point is you throw a healthy Steph Curry, a healthy Klay Thompson, Draymond, and Andrew Wiggins.
No, you're
right
you're
back
right.
to the top. I'd like to assume.
Has there ever been a trade between two teams that matter less in the season
Then what?
than this one? If it happens,
Detroit and Phoenix.
I mean, yeah, but like they're
Oh,
both.
This is something I wanted to bring up.
Phoenix is ahead of both of them. It's like Minnesota and Golden State are the 2 worst teams in the.
No, but they're good players that are still
in the West.
involved.
I know, like it's a blockbuster-ish deal, but like it's between the 2 worst teams in the division. or the conference.
Is Detroit not the worst sports city in America? Like it just sucks for their fan base and everything.
Dude, Detroit Tigers have drafted more Super Bowl quarterbacks than the Detroit Lions.
Like, but just look at all of the teams across sports. The
Forever.
Lions
Like
sucked.
I mean, the Red Wings were the
Red
ones
Wings
shining light for 25 years, though.
Right now. But
Right
now.
now?
Oh, right now, I wouldn't want to be a Detroit fan.
Not a playoff team in all 4 of them. In the 4 of them.
the Red Wings are the worst team in the NHL.
Yeah.
The Tigers are arguably the second worst team. The Orioles
Did they have
are.
the worst record?
No, the Orioles were really bad, like historically,
yeah.
and the Marlins. I think the Marlins were bad too.
I swear
You can look it up, but
first pick.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I thought
But
the
there
Orioles
was
were
a
the worst.
time, though. There was a time where Detroit was Boston, essentially, where they were the city of champions between 97, 98, 2002. Those were all Red Wings wins. I'm pretty sure the Pistons won early 2000s, did they not?
03 or 04, I think.
Right?
Yeah, the Tigers had the first pick. They were the worst team in baseball, the worst team in the NHL. They suck in basketball.
They're bottom 5 in football.
For me, it's kind of a good. It's about time for Detroit, right? Like I wasn't around, like I didn't
It's
know.
just a shit city.
Oh,
Okay,
I was just
what I
there.
mean is-
Like it's a dump.
That's what I mean.
It's
They've
a
earned
dump.
this.
It's got to be the most painful fan base right now. Like,
Mhm.
if you're a fan, because none of them are good.
No,
I mean, all
you're
things
not
considered-
saved by anything.
And which one's the first to turn it around? Like, I think
Honestly, it's
Detroit's
maybe
in it
the-
for the long haul in terms of their rebuild, so
you
not
just said-
them.
You just said Detroit.
The Red Wings, sorry, the Red
all of
Wings.
the
The Red
teams
Wings
here are from Detroit. I don't know. I was gonna say maybe the Red Wings.
The Red Wings are
That's what
definitely,
I'm
I think,
I think the Red Wings have a better chance at turning it around because they at least have pieces that they could come up and do something with. Like,
That's-
I still think they're a couple years away from.
who's
getting
on the
back.
Tigers? Or who's on the Tigers that you're like, okay, yeah, he's a good piece. I got nothing.
I mean, Casey Mize.
You know, yeah, fair. But he came up and wasn't fantastic last year.
You didn't even come up, buddy. Nice try.
I have him on my fantasy
Nice
team. He had like
try.
2 hits. Maybe I'm thinking of how's
You're
his
thinking
name?
I mean, I know the
Chicago
Lions
White Sox.
were riddled with injuries this year with Matt Stafford, but I mean, you can make the case that they were a playoff team. I know it's a tough division, but I mean, I feel like they're probably the closest thing with a healthy quarterback. They might be able to compete, and
They
not-
looked good for 2 games last year.
What?
3 games, whatever.
They were like 2-1-1 or something.
yeah,
after
like
the
they were,
first four,
and their
then they won a
offense
huge
looked really
losing streak.
good, but they're also trending downwards. I don't know. I think
it was more
honestly
of
think the Red
fact
Wings
of
might
the
have a chance.
injury.
Who's
It-
that?
My pick for that was the
Definitely, like,
Lions.
okay,
Dylan
but
something.
it's the outlook is
bad.
not.
It's bad.
It's
They're
at
gonna be
least
bad. All of them.
3 years until one of the teams makes the playoffs. Probably.
Yep. You don't
Yeah.
see a championship for a decade.
I don't know.
Who?
The Tigers.
How?
They have a good farm system.
Do they?
Well, they're getting the first pick.
But like, okay, now, and how long do first picks take to pan out? And that's one guy.
It's not going to be 10 years. You
Yeah, but
only
that's
have
one guy you're waiting on to pan out, right?
you're waiting
Like,
on
how long
my-
did it take? How long was Houston bad before they even competed?
No God.
Like that, you're
They-
kind of entering that territory.
They have 3 like stud prospects. I'd say
Yeah.
right now.
How many
It
times did the Tigers make it to the World Series when they had all those pitchers?
twice. They lost
When
back.
they had the sickest
one-
rotation in baseball.
Was it twice?
Yeah.
No, wasn't it the Tigers that went or the
No, the Rangers. Rangers
Rangers?
lost
That's
back to back.
back, right?
Cardinals and Giants.
But did the
Yeah.
Tigers not make it one year?
Tigers made one.
They made it and lost to San Francisco. Yeah.
So between the Tigers making the World Series,
Uh-huh.
back-to-back Stanley Cups in 08 and 09,
Mhm.
appearing
Yeah.
one win, one final loss.
One
Mhm.
flurry, beautiful save to win it.
Yeah, well, yeah. Don't bring that up. And then after that, I mean, nothing I could ever remember since 2000s where they had Stanley Cup, NBA championship, and then the 97, 98 back to back. Like, I mean, it's been a
And the
pretty
NFL,
good
like,
stretch.
buddy, the Lions haven't been good. Like they had the
Since,
years with
yeah.
Megatron, but like still, they haven't been good since.
I mean,
So-
they haven't been good as a football city in terms of they've never competed since I could ever remember for a
Mhm.
Super Bowl, but whatever, they were a fringe playoff team. But I mean, yeah, they're definitely on the decline. But I'm also don't feel bad for them at all.
All right, you guys want to talk about the
Hockey?
Leafs? Yep.
Oh yes, our favorite time.
Oh, Jock Peterson would go from the Dodgers to
The Jays.
the Angels.
That's part of the move.
And then Mike
Wow.
Trout's coming to the Jays.
Verdugo and Moore to the Red Sox. No, Mike Trout's going to the Angels.
Mike Trout's going to the.
Sorry, to the Dodgers. Fuck,
Oh,
I messed up.
I'm like, oh, that's a wicked trade.
Yeah.
Who's coming back the other way?
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, Leafs. So let's rewind to what day was it?
Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah, I was at that game.
Where
really?
Amir lit our asses on fire with news. Go ahead, Amir.
I'll light your ass up on fire.
I don't know, Break. Can you see the game better in person? You can see stuff that you don't know.
I don't know. I've only been to one. I can't really, or two. I can't really talk. Apparently,
Um,
not
the
like I
Twins
paid for
are
fucking
indeed
20.
the third. How are the okay? But wait, they're like Jock Peterson would go to the Angels if the blockbuster deal is completed, and then Heyman's like the Twins are the third team involved.
Oh,
So it's a 4-team trade.
the Twin Angels.
Okay, so back to the Kapanen thing.
Okay.
So you see that Kapanen scratched, and I'm like, oh, interesting. And then they said Sheldon Keefe will talk about it after the game.
Mhm.
So then I'm thinking, well, it's probably that he's either getting traded or something happened.
I was
But
leaning
then-
for something happened.
But then, like 15 minutes later, it was like, oh, Matt Dumba's scratched. And then
And then
someone
about 15 seconds later, that tweet got deleted.
that's when I
Biggest
texted them.
tease
And I was like,
ever.
oh, is the Leafs trading for Dumba confirmed? Let's go. But that didn't happen. And then it turned out Dumba wasn't scratched, and that Kapanen was benched for disciplinary reasons. Assuming that, like, is it assumed that he just slept in or what? Like, he just-
They said that he slept in.
They
but
said he slept in, but who knows what's
you kind of have
the
to.
real
but
deal.
I like it because we can just call him Kasperi Napanen, and we go from there.
Oh.
My favorite nickname from now on, Kasperi Napanen.
nappy.
Love it. Yeah, Nappy. Sweet.
Wait.
I'm just assuming things are just going to keep on breaking for the next 20 minutes.
Okay, let me not keep.
We'll go back to that after if there's news.
Yes. Okay. So I was excited for like a good 15 minutes, and then my dreams were crushed that the Leafs were trading for Dumba. Because, like, I think it's a significant improvement. I don't know. Especially after watching the game last night where you had Cody Ceci put together his best impression of Game 7 Jake Gardner in Boston as, like, ever could be. Like, there was...
Yeah.
Like one time it wasn't necessarily, or was it Barry on that goal? I think it was Barry on that goal where Dermott goes and then Barry just leaves goes to take the guy behind the net, and then they just leave a pass wide open.
Barry.
So, yeah, I think
not Barry. Yeah, Dermott. He left the front of the net.
No. Barry Barry went around the net, and then
Dermott had the guy covered in front of the net and decided no more of that and left him for some reason.
And then you had Ceci, who's like every game, like every other game, he's making plays where it just directly results.
I don't agree with that because I think Cody Ceci has had a really good month as a Toronto Maple Leaf. Like he's been good, and he was good in January, and like he won their game ball 2 games ago. But nobody talks about that because they're just there. He's got the Jake Gardner syndrome, and this is where.
Sorry, was that the one in Dallas? That was the one in Dallas, right?
I think so.
Okay, but that one he legitimately just let up a goal.
When?
I think it was to. Let me look it up quickly. But,
either way, like Cody Ceci's been good. Like he hasn't been a first pairing guy, hasn't been one of that, but like he's been good and he's done his job for at least a month. And there's been no problems with Cody Ceci. Like, yeah, there's some times where he blows coverage. Like, yeah, it happens. It happens to literally every defenseman in the NHL. But then he'll go out and he'll have a stinker like that, and people just rag on him for that and say he is what he is. And it's like, it's the Jake Gardner syndrome to a T, because Jake Gardner did so much good for this team, and then he'd have a performance like that, and it's all of a sudden he's the worst defenseman on the team. I'm not here to say Cody Ceci's good. I don't think Cody Ceci's a great defenseman. He's not a top pairing guy. He's not a second pairing guy. But on a playoff team, he could easily be a third pairing guy. And that's what he was until Riley got hurt. And I think he's done a good job of it. And everyone's ripping on him for 1 game. I'm like, it's a little ridiculous.
I think it's more than 1 game.
He's had his fair share of stinkers. But since Keefe's been there, man, he hasn't really been that bad. Like he's had a couple.
I think it gets highlighted and compounded by the fact that this was such a pivotal game. Like, I know we're still 30 games away from playoffs and real crunch time. Like, but still, this is a divisional game you need to win at home against Florida. Sure. You have a 3-1 lead with 15 minutes left, and you put up that kind of third period.
Are we just going to
blame? The blame's going to go to, like, it goes to your point. Like, the blame's going to go to somebody. And if it was Jake Gardner last year, they have to pick on one, and it's Cody Ceci. And I get that. Like, it's not fair because, for as much good as he does, the one time he does do it, he's going to get the blame and he's going to get harped on. But
for me, it's just like that game to me is like you lose your starting goalie at any point. Doesn't matter who the team is. Doesn't matter how good your backup is. You know how hard it is to come in the middle of a game when your team's up? Like, it's one thing to come into a game when you're getting shelled and it's like 6-0. You're like, okay, I just have to show up. I don't have to be good. But
no, I don't think that this game was on Hutch necessarily.
No, like, I don't blame him, but like, can you blame anyone at that point? Because it's like, man, like,
Hutch is not going to 7 shots.
Hutch isn't going to come in and be good. He's not going to come in and be good. You expect that. You just got to hope you've scored.
Look at what I posted in the doc. I found the CC goal where he's legitimately just looking at the guy across the fucking ice, and he lets a guy go right behind him and get a goal.
I kind of remember that one now. Yeah, he was standing like in the corner.
It was bad. It was really bad.
That's what I mean. He blows coverage. I get that.
Okay, but you can't do it. If it's every game, you can't have that.
I don't see it as every game, but there's a lot of little things he does that, like, he does some things in his own end that are really good. He also does some things in his own end that are really bad. It's just,
but
I don't know.
When there's really bad ones, it compounds. I mean, like if it's stuff that you can't see, like the plays where CC is bad, it always results in a goal, basically.
Like there's
and
some
which
defensemen where they can make a mistake and it's
Mhm.
hidden by the fact that nothing
They have
bad
speed
happened from it, and they're
other
able
stuff
to
like-
recover from that
Yeah.
mistake. But like
Uh-huh.
more often than
Travis
not,
Dermott.
like yeah,
Travis
but
Dermott.
he's also got foot speed to him where he can afford to be late on a play or do a pinch where he can get back. Like CC doesn't have much foot speed. in
Like
my
CC,
opinion,
what do you
relative
what
to
do
the
you
other
do
guys.
here? You're not a physical defenseman, so you don't have that to you. You
Mhm.
don't have the
Yeah, well,
speed. Like
No,
he's just
Good
an
puck.
all around meh defenseman. That's really
he's
what
average. He's a good third pairing guy, and I think that's all he
he is.
needs to be. And I
$4
think
million a year, which
I think if he's not making that contract, then I don't
okay,
think people give a shit.
like
Sure.
look at your boy. Look at Kovalchuk in Montreal.
Yeah, he's a lot better at $700,000 than he was at
Exactly,
$5
but
million,
it's a
$6
problem.
Six
if CC
million.
It's just
that much money. Because if you can include him in a deal to get better, then I think you have to do that if you legitimately
Sure.
want to win a title.
sure. But to me, it's just like, you know what? Yes, we have Cody CC at $4 million. This isn't like Kyle Dubas signed him at $4 million. I am ecstatic to have him at 4 because that means we don't have Zaitsev at 4.5 for the next 6 years or whatever it is.
Mhm.
Understand that. But you also
Like-
didn't need to sign him.
No, it was a
Were they
weird move.
They
sign
They
who?
could have just CC. They could have
CC.
not qualified him,
He was
let
not
him
bad.
walk, and they chose instead that $4 million of CC is worth it instead of whatever cap space that
Yeah.
they would get. I don't know if it would
Yeah.
be exactly
Yeah.
4 million, but
Close to
they
it.
didn't think it was worth it. Like
It's
I
a weird move.
straight up
But
disagree with that. I think
Yeah, I
in
don't know.
terms of like spots that you have to upgrade on this team, I like because the
Right.
forward, I don't think that you need to tinker with it at all. Basically,
Nice. Yep.
That's why there's always going to be the scapegoats of spots that you can and you should improve. Because if you're not trying to improve, then what are you doing?
Well,
Well,
like you
maybe
hear it in
winning
the
the cup.
media. Like the media is always pushing for the backup. Oh, he led in this. But I want to ask you guys, like, what's more important right now? The right-handed
Guys that
defenseman
play,
or
yes, the
the
defenseman.
right-handed defenseman or the backup goalie? Like for me,
I
it's
don't
the
give a
defenseman.
shit. I don't give one single shit about the backup goalie, and I haven't the
Because
entire time.
if Freddie gets hurt,
You're
your
done.
season's
It
over
doesn't-
anyways.
I don't care
Yeah.
who your backup is. You're done. It's
I'm
over.
sorry,
Like
Alexander Gorgiev's not winning you the cup.
no, he's not
Yeah.
even winning the Rangers game. So how is he going to help you win? He's
Like,
a goalie.
what-
He's a starting goalie. He's not a Freddie.
We can all
Yep.
agree. We would
Yep.
want Alexander Gorgiev,
Yeah.
but
Sure.
the price that it's going to be to take
It's
to
not
get
worth
him,
it. It's not worth
Exactly.
it. You're giving up a guy who's going to play. How many games we got left now? 30.
30
not much.
games.
I think it's 30, give or take, maybe a little less.
30, 32.
30 or a
depending on
bit
what
less.
team you are.
You're giving up a guy who's going to play 30 games for a guy that's going to play what? 5, 4? Like no.
And if
that's stupid.
Freddie gets hurt, but it's still a downgrade.
Sure.
So what are we
Yeah.
doing?
You're going to lose anyways. It doesn't matter.
I
think
saw that
it
Ferraro was like Ryan Miller would be a good fit for Leafs. Sure, because it wouldn't take a lot to get him, but
But he's
Is
also
it
got a contract, does he not?
it's
I
not
thought
worth
it's
it.
I thought it's league min, or it's 1 million
No, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's above
Is
that.
it?
But
cap friendly.
Canada.
Why do I have an actress?
I
Anyway.
think it would be a little beneficial to upgrade the back end, obviously, but like realistically, what are you upgrading? You're going to upgrade CC. I'm like, okay, yeah, obviously we need to upgrade CC. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do when Riley comes back? Who's the guy that goes down?
Probably Sandine.
Why? He's been one of your top 2 defensemen for the past.
I don't think that he's
Two
been
weeks.
he hasn't been great at defense.
He's been good enough. And you've also got him paired with Marincin and CC half the time. And I know he's been with CC because I think that's a hilarious pairing. It's like 38 and 83. I think that's awesome. But like you're pairing him with Cody CC, who everyone's claiming to be this defensive nightmare. So I mean, you
Miller
really
had
want to win.
1.125.
It'd take a small move.
Yeah.
But you'd still have to lose a guy off your roster.
I don't think so.
Technically.
He's
Like
39.
like it's someone that's a little bit.
Timashov for Ryan Miller.
It doesn't work, right? Because he's 675 or 7 something.
I don't know.
Like you're on the cap right now, so you need to give up someone who's 1.1, and like there's not.
Because Riley's on LTIR.
Technically, yeah, but depends on when he comes back too.
Well, if he comes back in the playoffs, and
But
then
he's
you're
slated
fine.
to come. He's slated to come back before, which is the problem.
If he's slated to come back a week or two before, would you not rather? Yeah.
Yep. If you're in a
Right.
playoff spot, yes.
Yeah.
If you're not and you're battling for it, I would much rather see Morgan Riley.
Sure. No, I agree. So we can go back. Can we talk about the Dumba situation? Because
Oh, we didn't
like,
even finish that, eh?
because like, well, we didn't really have a conversation. I would do that day every day, that deal every day of the week if I'm the Leafs. Honestly,
I really like Kasperi Kapanen. I think
I like him too, but I also think that
Yeah.
like, is he a play driver like Marner and Nylander? No, like he needs a guy to create offense for him.
Mhm.
And in what situation is he going to be with one of those play creating type of players? Not on the third line, and that's the only spot he can only play third line right wing.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
he will never be able to get his potential.
Have they tried him on?
They've tried him left wing.
On the left with Cap, or no, sorry, with Willie and
Nylander.
JT.
No, but they tried him with Marner and JT, and I mean he couldn't do it there.
But I mean, yeah, but they're different style of players, right? Like Marner needs the puck, and I think Cap likes to have the puck, which is kind of, I don't know. I think that'd be an interesting shot just to give him one last chance at the second line role.
I think Kapanen is just a like. I don't see this as a negative. I think he's a really good grinder. Like honest, like more
Yeah.
finesse than a grind. Like
Incredible speed too, though. That's the thing.
yeah. Like,
Which I don't like giving up for a guy who can't play defense.
is it better than CC?
That's not the point. Is it better defensively? Absolutely not. It's the exact same.
Don't know. I don't know if it. I disagree with that because he has the puck.
Who? Dumba?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather have Dumba over CC.
Have
Yeah.
you seen Dumba's numbers this year?
He's
He's not
coming off
good.
of a major injury last year.
He's not
To
good.
me, this year's kind of
It's
an off. It's a
This year's a wash anyway.
Counted to him coming back. What was it? His pec last year?
No,
Yeah.
I think he tore
thought
his
it was his knee,
pectoral
wasn't it?
muscle, or was it his
Can't
knee?
Let me look it
I
up.
thought it was his knee. Either way, it's just, to me, it's you're bringing in Dumba, who's having a shit year, and you're like, oh, it's whatever, it's just this year. Well, your move right now is to improve this year, because if not, I'd rather take that cap space and just let CC walk at the end of the year.
But you also got to factor in that like Dubas has said he wants to make a move that helps them long term. And
Sure.
I think that's the move because you lose Barry next year, and that's your literal
I don't
replacement
know
right
if
there.
getting rid of cap helps you long term.
But
You have
there's
so many
literally no-
players. They
can't
pawn
play
off
for-
Jeremy
they've no-
Bracco like he's this one little pawn. It's like, when are we going to trade him? When are we going to trade him? Let him
His-
play.
His value is falling off the face of the earth.
But that's the problem because he's not playing and he's playing in the Marlies. And
It's because he can't
when
score.
it's at an all-time high,
He has
like-
one power play goal this year. He's played.
Yeah, but
He's
not
played
a-
on the first.
not a
He's played
goal
on the
scorer.
first power play unit.
so you
all
move a
year.
guy like
Dude,
Kapanen
Mitch Marner
out.
has more than that.
No, I'm with-
You
I'm
move
with-
a guy like Kapanen out. You see what you have in this guy, especially before the playoffs, to see if he's an actual viable option going into a playoff series. Or
And then if he's not, you put your boy up there, Nick Patan, and then we're going. So me and Brant were talking about this on Saturday night, and we're
Mhm.
going at it at like 4 a.m. And I was just like, wait, you're forgetting about your boy Nick Patan. You can move Cappy and just literally bring him up and put him in that situation.
He is
Because
perfect.
we
for
agree
that
he's
role.
not a fourth line player.
He's perfect.
and that's
for that
what
role.
3 million saved.
Yes.
Is it 3?
And if
After we get 3 points.
if the situation is, I'm looking at what Friedman said. He's basically like the Dumba trade would be
Kapanen plus
Kapanen.
Minnesota also said they're not interested in Kapanen, right? That was the other
Did
piece
they?
of news.
They said that they were
he
looking
wanted-
for a centerman.
He doesn't
Yeah.
I
fit.
remember
He doesn't fit their
hearing
need.
that.
So Alex Kerfoot.
Sure.
Which yes.
I like Kerfy, but like I'm not afraid to give Kerfoot up. I don't like him.
Which is
as
again,
much
I
as
think
like
3.5 million.
Kapanen's got better
Right?
tools than Kerfoot. That's
No, I agree.
but that also lessens his value. But I don't know, man. I don't want Dumba. I'd rather see Josh Manson, but I don't like that price tag.
They're not trading Josh Manson though.
Why?
Anaheim?
Yeah,
Why
They
would
suck.
they?
because they suck. If you can get assets for Josh Manson, why not?
Of course they're getting at I think that they would have a bidding war for Josh Manson.
Sure. So
I think you'd have to give up a first for Manson. I don't think
I think
you'd have
we don't have a first, so that won't work.
no a
It's
future first.
Obviously, the price is going to be steep, but I just think that's the better play. If you're looking to improve your defense, then Josh Manson's the play. It's not Matt Dumba. Matt Dumba is literally Tyson Barrie, and people hate Tyson Barrie because he doesn't play defense.
I think he's better than Tyson Barrie in aspects. Like he's
Mhm.
physical.
like I brought it up last year when Ryan Suter went down injured last year. Matt Dumba was playing like 30 minutes a night,
Mhm.
or I
Mhm.
believe it was
No,
2 years ago.
No, he
When he-
plays a lot of minutes.
Yeah.
Right, like he can log you
So-
valuable minutes. Which how many defensemen on the Leafs can actually do that?
Muzzin,
Well, yeah, aside from
Barry.
him.
Barry.
Like
Sandy.
How many times do we see Barry though making a
guy
questionable
like
play that leads to an offensive zone rush for the other team?
Yeah. How many times do you see him racking up points because he's incredible puck mover?
But that's what I mean. You
I
take
think-
the good. You take. I'd rather have the steadier
He-
guy, in
people-
my opinion, defensively.
So I sent
Dumba.
Matt Dumba highlights, and I said him the second goal is this beautiful slapper where I'm like, there's no one on the Leafs that can score like that.
He's also a guy that can score 20 points as a defenseman. No, like
20 goals as a defenseman.
Yeah.
He was on pace last year.
The guy can score.
yeah.
I'm not saying he's not good offensively, but you
but I'm
don't
saying I
have a
think there's
need for an
better
offensive
upside.
defenseman.
But if you're better on offense, you have the puck more. If
Okay,
you get a
say that
we
about
have the puck
Barry.
a lot. The issue isn't the
You-
Leafs need the puck more. The Leafs have the puck consistently more than the other team, like a lot more, but they get scored on because they break down in their own end. Bringing Dumba in doesn't help that. Bringing Manson in helps that. Bringing a couple other names in helps that. But bringing Matt Dumba in will not help you. You'll have the puck just
What's
as much.
Manson's contract?
He's only 2 years more.
2 years more than Dumba.
no more left.
2 years,
Oh, after this,
and then Dumba's 3.
So you're getting one more year with.
I
Matt
think Manson's probably the more defensive
Manson's
minded. That is
4.1.
what.
No, I
they
agree that
need.
Manson would be a better fit for this year.
Mhm.
But I think long term, I would rather have Dumba.
If you
because-
look long term, where you're not getting Tyson Barrie, I could see why Matt Dumba is the better
I
play
guess you're replacing Tyson Barrie.
Yeah.
But why not
at
just
a,
replace
at a
Tyson
less
Barrie with
cost,
Tyson Barrie?
right? Tyson Barrie's at what 2.75 after the retained salary.
You're
And
not
then
getting
you're getting
anyone
Dumba
of
at
that.
what?
Yeah.
What's Dumba's contract right now?
5,
5.
6.
You're not getting Tyson Barrie for less than $5 million.
You're not getting Tyson Barrie anywhere near that 2.75 either, which is
No, obviously. No, Tyson Barrie is gone. Like there's no situation where I would want him back.
somebody
And-
the other day mentioned they could bring him back, and I'm
No.
like, that's
In what scenario?
I wouldn't hate it. I fucking love.
No,
Tyson.
I would hate it just because I know the term is going to be bad, and for and just the overall cost. Like it's whoever signs him, it's going to be a bad contract. He's not a bad player. It's
No.
just going to be a bad contract.
If you're
Like,
gonna put money
straight
into defenseman, make it a defensive defenseman, please.
Yeah. Matt
Yeah.
Dumba is making 6.
Yeah.
Which is $2 million more than Josh Manson.
yeah, but I understand.
Which
But
is
you also
a lot harder to fit in
you're
this
also
cap.
dumping it's CC plus Kapanen
Yeah, but why would you take that?
because
Because
they-
if you're packaging CC in any of these deals, you're
yeah,
throwing
it's a
in
negative asset, I understand.
you're
I
throwing in more picks and more prospects, and I don't want to do that. I don't understand why. Like, I understand why people want to get rid of CC. I don't know why you want to package him in a deal.
How would any GM find what he's got appealing, right? Like it.
He's good at some aspects.
Yeah, but like
I
the contract does not offset.
shelter him,
the
he's
parts of
good.
The game he brings to the table.
That's what I mean. So, like, if you're like, here, we'll give you this, and we'll also give you Jeremy Bracco just to take him. Like, I don't want to do that. I want a deal where I'm just
Yeah.
like, here, take one of our forwards and one of our prospects for.
I think Minnesota understands that they're gonna have to take back salary in a situation to get the deal like done. So Friedman was basically like, it's going to cost them probably one of Kapanen and Johnson or Kerfoot. We would,
Yeah.
and like Brandon and I talked about it. And it's like we would much rather, like in terms of guys we would give up. It goes Kerfoot, Johnson, Kapanen, and if Kerfoot's the guy that gets to be thrown into the deal because he can play center, I do that deal in
Yeah.
a heartbeat.
No, I'm with that.
It would be,
Does that make the Kadri deal look better to all these people that are bitching about it?
probably.
Like, are we not? I don't know. The Kadri deal's a different beast for me. I fucking hate people that still think that's a bad deal.
At that rate, it kind of makes the Kadri deal useless in the fact that why didn't you just trade Kadri for a defensive defenseman in the first place?
I still think the Kadri deal is a great deal. So I don't
think it's
really care.
fine.
Hmm?
I think it's I think it's fine. The
As
cap
long as
deal
you recoup the asset in terms of
Dude.
turning it into a defensive defenseman that the
You
Leafs
gave up
that was not a
third
defense.
line. You gave up third line center Nazem Kadri for an actual third line center in Alexander Kerfoot, who's having just as good of a year.
That's not playing center.
Yeah, which you can put on the wing because Kadri never really played the wing here. But like you're now paying value for a third line guy, and
That's not.
you also got a guy that is on pace. If he was playing under Keefe for the whole year, he'd have a 60-something point season as a defenseman.
But do you
I don't
need
give a
another
shit that he can't play
60-point
defense.
defenseman? Is
You-
my point.
when you lose Jake Gardner, you do.
All right, but okay, look,
I don't know.
Kerfoot, a young D,
Mhm.
and a high pick. I don't know if it'll be a high pick, but I think it's
young
up pick.
D as in who?
I would assume it's Kerfoot, Lily.
Done. No, I'm out.
I would do that.
No, why? You're losing 5 D men this year.
I don't know.
You're not giving away an NHL ready prospect.
Is he an NHL ready prospect? Why didn't you play him?
He has played games this year
Yeah,
and looked fine doing it.
No, he wasn't good in that game.
He looked okay. He had a couple blunders.
One.
He had the one play where he turned the puck over.
Okay, but if you have a one play that leads to a goal, like that has to be taken into consideration. Like CC has the same plays where it's like he gives up a goal and that's not just a blunder, that's a goal. Like,
Yeah.
come on. I think Brant Frozo, did he? Yeah.
I mean, of the two of them, like they both got their perks, right? You get longer term with Dumba at a higher cost, but you get a defenseman that fits the scheme that you're trying to work around what you got, right? In Manson. So do I think it's worth the cost of the young defenseman? No. Like, as much as I think they need a guy to solidify the top 4, I'd rather have the
Hey, I don't know if it's Liljegren. What if
Yeah.
it's Zach Hollowell, who's who's gonna be in the AHL for probably next year also? Like, I would still do that.
I would do. Yeah, I'm not moving Sandine or Liljegren. I'd move who you said it, Caldwell,
Hollowell. Yeah.
I mean,
I think that it's still a possibility. There you go, Brant. What's up, buddy?
In the time that I cut out, I'm just going to assume you both said I was right and we moved on.
No.
Right? That's what happened?
I did. I said
That's
that
what
it's
I thought.
worth the cost of losing a guy like Liljegren or Sandine. For
You
one,
said it is worth or it's not worth?
I said that it's not
Oh,
worth.
No, it's not.
We
I don't
didn't
think
talk about the best fit for the Leafs.
Huh?
Dustin Buffalian?
Dude. If you can get Bufflin at anywhere close to where you fit in the cap, do it now. Please. Because that's the piece you need. Like, that's literally the defensive guy you need.
Finally, a physical defenseman.
Yep.
Is a right-handed shot.
Did I not DM you that, Brant? I don't think I went through, but I was just like, when I saw that it was termination, I was just like, Leafs now.
Which I don't think he's gonna be at. Like, if you're gonna get Bufflin, it's gonna be at like a 1.1, and I don't think he takes that. The guy's coming off a $7 million deal.
$4 million at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Between kind of like,
But then I go to him and I'm like, hey, you're gonna be in the biggest spotlight.
For 2 months too. It's not like you're here long term. You come for this season.
And we're gonna have some space to sign you potentially in the off season. You would fit really well. You're gonna play meaningful games.
Yep.
On nationally televised games with the world watching you.
Shoot your shot.
Let's dream a little.
If you don't,
but I mean, there's not much he didn't have in Winnipeg, right?
Huh?
There's not much he didn't have in Winnipeg. Like, he was already getting $7 million. He had playoff hockey there. I mean, it's a Canadian market, but I mean, yeah, let's dream. I'd love to have Bufflin on this team.
So, what would it be? Riley Buff?
Oh my.
Yeah, I'd go Barry Buff, I think.
No, because that's 2 right hands.
Right-handed.
Which you could move Buff to the left. You have Barry on your left side.
Buff's not playing the left.
Then put Barry because he's literally there to shoot the puck. It's a better one-time spot. It's a better one-time spot for both of them. They both have a good shot.
I don't think that they do that. I don't think that Barry would want to change
Maybe not
his contract here.
But if you told me that you were going to give me Bufflin and people would stop bitching about my defense because he's going to do all the work back there, I think I'd probably move. And I think that's the only reason why you throw Bufflin on that thing.
I still think that if you put Riley Buff and finally put Riley with a defensive defenseman,
then you go Barry Hall.
Yeah. No, Barry Muzzin.
Barry Muzzin. Yeah, shit.
Defenseman though.
Huh?
Is Bufflin that much of a defensive defenseman though? Like
he's a unit.
Yeah.
He used to play forward.
Yeah, I know. The guy's a jack of all trades, man. He's incredible.
It would just be perfect.
So keep going down. What's your bottom pair?
Hall.
Okay.
Dermott.
I'm Sandine over Dermott.
No.
Personally. He's looked better.
I would run 70 then. I would
your fourth line's useless.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
See you, Goat.
No, man. Timoshev. Cheers. Goat's clutch as hell.
Ovechkin
I like Trevor Moore's game last game because I thought he was really good.
I
thought he was really good.
Trevor Moore is the best player on the Leafs from blue line to blue line. But once he gets in either end, I'm kind of like, what?
He made that pass to Spezza where Spezza couldn't finish, right?
I might have missed it. I missed last night's game. But like even just watching him, like since he's been back, it's just like incredible transition offense guy. Yeah.
Last game was good.
His transition offense is incredible. Like he's really good at getting the puck in, zone entries, all that nonsense. But it's just like once he's in the zone, I'm kind of like, what are you doing? You just make some strange decisions, and I'm like, I understand why you have one goal.
Ovechkin's just scored another hat trick.
Yeah.
Shut up.
No. 40 on the season.
Dude, remember like 2 podcasts ago when I said he was going to score 3 straight hat tricks and pull into the lead? Scored 2 straight, scored 1 in the next game, scored 2 in the game after that, and now he's got 3 tonight. That guy's a freak.
He's gonna. So I think it was the Puck Soup podcast I was listening to, and they're like, Ovechkin's gonna break the goal record, and then all Canadians are gonna be like, "Oh, well, there's actually this many goals that Gretzky scored, and that didn't count." And they're gonna try to move the goalpost. Then he's gonna be the greatest goal scorer ever.
He already is. Sorry.
Like it's
a way different area. You see the goalies that Gretzky had to score on.
Yeah,
it would be unfair.
Mm-hmm.
There's still going to be the old senile fans that are going to say, well, you know, the numbers still say Gretzky, but I mean, I'm all for seeing Ovi do it because he is in an era like this, like he is the best goal scorer ever.
Yes.
Yep.
So,
done deal.
Back to like other spots that the Leafs could potentially improve. Like if they find a better center, sure, go out and do it. But you'd just be swapping literal players. Like, I think you could still
deck chairs on the Titanic.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Could it just be the year from hell for the Leafs?
Yeah. They've lost so many key parts of this team.
Like a lot of man games lost. Like,
yep.
Like not quite Raptors level of injuries, but it just feels like you can just never get right.
For the Raptors, I think their thing, like they've been a depth team for so long. Like they have so much depth. And I think for them, you don't really need a lot of depth in the NBA.
Mm-hmm. And that's
to an extent.
That's one of the other things, like their player development. Like the Raptors are the new Spurs.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. I just think like for them to lose guys, it's like it's okay because we still have 8 other guys that are really good at playing basketball.
Yeah.
Whereas in hockey, you need all 4 lines. Like you can't have like if you lose a few of them, like you're hurting.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's tough. Same situations. It's just the Raptors are in a better spot for it.
Because there's less player. That's one thing that like always gets me with hockey.
Mm-hmm.
And like people that don't watch hockey will always say like, yeah, but how come they're only out there for like 30, 40 seconds at a time?
Try it. Go ahead. It's fucked. Like you buzz around for 30 seconds, your legs are toast. You need to take that rest, especially at the speeds they're going at.
It's like, oh, I can go 30, 40 seconds and then rest for like a couple minutes and then be like, okay,
let's back.
Like it's just weird to me.
Yeah.
It's one of the more odd things about the sport.
Yep.
Okay. Did we talk about the Freddie injury?
Not much.
Not real. It hurts the. Okay.
I think he'll be fine. I'm not worried.
Hmm.
He'll be back Saturday.
Originally, I thought it was
Look
his leg, but they're saying it's a neck injury.
Neck.
Neck injury. Yeah.
Concerning.
Which realistically, it's either what can you do to your neck? You pull a muscle or you break it. What else can you do to your neck? I'm no doctor, but like
No, but I feel like
it's
saying
like-
neck is a way of
it's like
saying another way of saying
It's-
concussion. I don't know.
no.
Never gotten like a stiff neck, like a.
Yeah, and how long does it last?
I don't know. Like it depends. Is there like a disc in your actual neck that's
Maybe.
fucked up where it's pinched and stuff?
Fair.
Like
I think he'll be back Saturday. I'm not that worried.
I hope so. Definitely hope so.
Yeah.
But
I don't think the fact that he didn't travel is a big deal as people are thinking. I think you're going. What's the point in taking a flight to New York and coming back and you know you're not going to play? It's just going to fuck with your neck even more.
Yeah.
Sit home, relax, get it work done in Toronto where all your doctors are.
Yeah.
no, but if he is out, like, would you rather the Leafs just not trade for a goalie?
Dude,
Or-
just mail it in. Like
So
if
then-
Freddie's out long term, just mail it in.
trade Barry
Kind of.
potentially.
No, I kind of like that they're trying to re-sign Muzzin. So if they get that deal done, it'd be cool.
Like if you could pull and pull in a Aroldis Chapman where you
Yeah.
trade him, you resign.
Yeah, little under the table deal.
I would really do that.
Mhm.
I'd do that.
So then you trade.
I think those are two guys that like look. A team would give up a first and a prospect for Muzzin or Barry because they're really good defensemen.
Mhm.
One offensive, one defensive. Like
Yeah. Yep.
You basically recoup whatever.
They will be a first pairing guy on any team, pretty much, just depending on their role.
And that's really the only two guys that you'd really shop.
Yeah, there's not really anyone else.
You think there would be any interest in CC as for any playoff team as a third depth guy if the Leafs retain salary?
Can
No.
they retain salary? Well,
Yeah,
if it depends
Easily.
on it's money coming back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, is what I'm saying.
You can get picks.
Get
Sure,
picked.
you could shop Cody CC for like a fourth and a fifth.
I
Yeah.
mean, you should be already shopping Cody CC.
Yeah.
If we're being honest.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe not even a fourth and fifth. Could be a fifth and sixth. But I don't know. If Freddie's done, you mail the season in though. That's pretty much bottom line.
Going back to like the Jake Gardner thing on CC, like
Yeah.
the difference is Jake Gardner.
Scored 60 points.
No, he was actually good.
Yeah.
But it was also like
It's a very different situation.
earned the reputation a little. Like he made plays in Toronto where CC came into the situation.
People
bad.
hated him when he showed up. Just
Who?
for CC.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
he showed up here and people just hated him. I'm like,
But
man,
that's what-
why?
Kind of hard though.
people hated him because they knew he wasn't good. And then
been in Ottawa,
they never gave him a chance. And then
No,
when-
I think that's when
and-
you start down here, it's really tough to get back up.
yeah. So even if he made good plays, like I try to look at it like when I'd watch Zaitsev play,
Mhm.
Zaitsev would be fine, like, and I wouldn't notice him, and that's when I knew it was a
That's
good.
great when you don't notice him.
But the problem was it was just too much money for a guy that you just don't notice play.
Yeah, you're paying him to be noticed.
I think
And then
that's,
you're paying CC that money, and it's bad.
it's the same with
But it's for 3
right?
more months.
Gardner made how much? 4 and a bit?
4.
Mhm.
And he got you 50, 60 points a year.
He earned it.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
The defensive plays,
Whatever.
they're offset by the fact that he puts up points. Like Leafs fans were accustomed to that. They knew
They're-
that that's what they were getting. And they,
Yeah, that's my thing.
as
like-
much pissed off they would get when he'd make a stupid play, he'd get the 2-3 assists the other night to offset it.
That's my thing with guys like
Yeah.
with like Barry on the Leafs, and like you look at a guy like Dumba. The thing where Barry's good right now is because he's scoring points.
Mhm.
He gives up goals, but if you're not scoring, scoring, then like
Yeah.
what do you do here?
Yeah.
And with Dumba, like yes, you're on a bad team and everything. And are you the greatest defenseman? No, but
He's also not scoring points this year.
you're not scoring points this year. So like
Yeah.
it's like what do you do here? You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't
It's-
help to pick him off PP1, but like there's excuses that you make all day long. It's,
Yeah.
if-
Barry improved when he got put back on PP1, right? Like it's one of those things. It's to me like Toronto fans are the worst at having these D-men that are like really good at putting up points. Like it's all like they're the older generation where they're used to guys just running people through the glass.
They focus
Where
on
it's-
what they're not.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
just like you can't look at the fact that this guy's an incredible point scorer. You're just like, oh well, yeah, he lets up a couple goals. Sure, whatever.
Defenseman, he's a fourth forward. That's the
Legitimately
mentality, right?
imagine though if the Leafs got Buff, like it would be the perfect. Like no one could ever rag on Dubas ever again.
But they'd find a way. Don't kid yourself. Have you seen some of Leafs Twitter? It's a joke.
It's like I got you 2 defensive defensemen that work
Yeah.
here in Muzzin and Buff. What do you
Mhm.
want from me?
Yeah, there's not much more I can do. You want 6 guys that don't put the puck in the net?
Mhm.
Let's just win games 1-0 for the rest of our lives.
And that's the thing. Like we're ragging on CC because he's making $4 million.
Mhm.
The reason why like a deal that Justin Hull signs at $2 million, like
Mhm.
that's third pairing money, and he's shown
He
potential.
could be a second first pairing guy.
A second pairing guy,
Yep.
and like, what more could you want? You know,
Mhm.
like at that cost, like,
Yep.
And then you look at the Nylander deal. What more do you want there? Like I can't remember who tweeted out. It's like, is Nylander properly paid, underpaid, or overpaid? I'm like,
was Myrtle.
yeah. I was like, underpaid.
Yeah.
Well, in comparison to the guys on his team,
Mhm.
could you say Marner's overpaid?
Yes, but he's really good.
So it's not a problem.
$11 million.
It's like
Sorry?
There's not many wingers that make
No.
$11 million.
Yeah.
when
There's
Jeff,
Panarin. That's
when
it.
Jeff Skinner's making 9.
Mhm.
Okay, that Marner at 11.
Marner's not as much. He's not as overpaid as I thought he would have been.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. And in a situation where it's the younger players are getting paid their money sooner, which is better because they're getting paid during their prime.
Mhm.
Where a guy like Tyson Berry is going to make his money on the back half, and that's where contracts can really hurt you. Right? You want to talk about this Mookie Betts trade, and then let's get out of here.
Is there any news on it?
It's not known yet if Dustin May's in it,
Okay.
but I don't think he is. The Twins are getting Kenta Maeda from
Really?
Dodgers,
Jesus, Twins are getting good.
but the Twins are giving up a top 100 pitching prospect
Mm.
in Buster Gratterall, and he's
Okay.
going to the Red Sox. So it's looking like it's Verdugo and Gratterall to the Red Sox. Like,
Yikes.
okay, those are 2 good players that, like, if they turn out, they're like a B level player,
Mm-hmm.
and you're giving it up for the second best player in baseball
For 1 year of him.
Yeah,
You know, it'd be really fun when Aroldis Chapman's the fucking Dodgers and comes back to the Red
you know
Sox.
what? It could legitimately happen because Boston is going to revolt and they're going to sign some bad free agency.
Mhm.
But it could be that they end up, because they always figure out some way when they make it the bad deal and they dump the guy away for nothing. The next offseason, they're going to be like, oh, let's spend that money there.
Mhm. They have the
It
money,
just so
man. They
happens
can do
that
it.
Betts can come back. So it could be. That'll be interesting to see. We went pretty long. Hour
Yeah,
40.
I didn't think we had that much to talk about.
We'll try to come back next week, I assume.
Yeah.
Unless there's big news. Who knows? Maybe a Saturday pod. We'll see. Is that good for everyone?
I think so.
All right.
Saturday is what, the
Oh,
8th?
Saturday I work at night, but
If there's news, like,
Yeah.
we'll see.
we'll figure it out.
All right. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.